Hi everyone, I'm Stu.
I'm Sarah, and welcome back to the 350 bird challenge.
In this video, we're going to try and add some of the waterfowl that we're so far missing. Stay tuned, we'll be back after this. Hi everyone, welcome back. Sarah, where are we at the moment?
We are at Unwin Avenue Bridge.
If you can't already tell, I'm a little bit ill, so we haven't come too far away from home in this video, but there's some waterfowl behind us. We're going to see if we can find any new ones that we haven't caught on camera so far. Unwin Avenue runs across the north of Tommy Thompson Park and close to Unwin Bridge. You can get views of the outer harbour from here. At this time of year, the water tends to freeze farther out, causing waterfowl to forage and congregate closer to shore. The bird with the white stripe down its head in the centre of this shot is an American widgeon, which is new for the year and a pretty nice looking duck species. Here it is a little closer, in better light. Other birds reported here this morning were northern pintail, tundra swan, northern shoveler and lesser scaup, all birds we need for the year. We only found one of them though. Amongst these redheads we were able to pick out this lesser scaup. Speaking of redheads, they're one of the more plentiful species around today. If you've been paying attention in previous videos, you might have seen buffleheads in the background, but here's a proper shot of one and we're just going to count it here instead. There was a boatload of waterfowl, as you can see here. A nice gadwall here amongst the mallards, mute swans, greater scaup, common goldeneye, American coot, Canada geese, canvasbacks and other species common at this time of year. A few trumpeter swans came and went, but we couldn't definitively pick out any tundra swans today. On the edge of the ice, a couple of adult great black-backed gulls, and to the right of them is another in its first winter plumage. Time for a new stop. My gosh, Sarah, where have you dragged us to next?
We're at Bluffer's Park Marina.
Reports of a glaucous gull. We've come to a boat launch area that's frozen over. Don't see any glaucous gulls, but we think we have Iceland gull. Maybe 2 or 3 of them, maybe even 4 of them, so that's a pretty good find. Need to confirm that on a larger screen, but pretty confident of Iceland gull. This boat launch enters into Lake Ontario and it was frozen with a few dozen gulls standing out on the ice. This gull caught our attention first. Note the pink legs and the red dot on the bill and its slightly larger size compared to the surrounding ring-billed gulls. The bill is less chunky than a herring gull and the bird is overall a little smaller. I think there's 4 Iceland gulls in a row here. The Kumlian's Iceland gull is the most common subspecies found in eastern North America, but I'm not confident enough to call the subspecies, but Iceland gull, new bird. Okay guys, we've picked up a few species in a couple of different places, but with me not feeling that great and a busy weekend, I think that does us for now, but stay tuned to this video because next weekend we have a bit more time to do some birding and we'll tag that on next, so after the break, we'll be back with that. Okay guys, pleased to report that I'm feeling a little bit better. We've come back to Unwin Avenue because northern pintail and ringneck duck are still being reported here. Unfortunately, no sign of them, right Sarah?
No, unfortunately not, just the usual suspects.
But we did pick up a pied-billed grebe, so that's a nice early find for the year. Having said that, not much else here to see, so I think we're going to move on. Stay tuned, we're going to go to another stop. Here's that tiny pied-billed grebe that we spotted, which I referred to as a nice early find. They do overwinter here in Ontario sometimes, but normally they would migrate south, so it's a bit of a bonus to get one of these in January. Unlike its flashier grebe relatives, this one keeps things understated. No fancy head plumes, just a stout little bird built for diving, thanks to its anatomy, legs towards the back of its body, and the ability to trap water within its plumage, which helps to control buoyancy. We're gonna shoot up the DVP and across the 401. Okay guys, a quick stop at Rouge Beach Park. There are reports of a white-fronted goose. A little secret for you, I did actually come here a couple of days ago to try and find it. It wasn't here, but then yesterday it was showing really well because I've seen reports and people's photos of it quite close in to shore. Unfortunately, today we looked around, loads and loads of Canada geese. It looks a bit like a Canada goose from the body, but the face has a kind of one of those candy carrot noses is what it looks like. A lot of those Canada geese have their heads tucked, so it's hard to say if it's there or not. Lots of other birders down there. Nobody else has seen it so far today. Knowing our luck, it'll show up when we leave, but anyway, no joy. So I think it's probably time for us to move on to a new stop now. As we make that drive, perhaps it's time for us to take a quick look back at last month, because today is February 1st. So how have we done in January compared to the previous 2 years where we've been recording our birding? Let's take a look at that. As we head further east along the 401, let's take a look at how we did in January. Taking off the pied-billed grebe, because it's now February, puts us at 62 species for January 2025. In 2024, we saw a whopping 73 species, mostly thanks to a much better year for winter finches. Some catching up to do. On the one hand, 2023 is more comparable weather-wise, and we only saw 61 species that year. But on the other hand, our challenge in 2023 was only 250 birds, so we do need a strong February going forward. So let's get back to the birding. Alright guys, we've just come to Bennett Road, driving along looking for snow buntings, and we've just seen some. Unfortunately, by the time I could get the car stopped, get the camera out, they've gone. So we're going to try driving around a little bit more, try to hope and find some that are settled in the fields on the side of the road so I can actually get them on camera. So stay tuned, let's give that a try. We spent some time driving the back roads, and we staked out Bennett Road South, but without success. So then we visited the nearby Bragg Farm for some local bird seed. Now they have some feeders outside their store, and we did see some common species like juncos and quite a few perching mourning doves. And some blue jays that were watching over proceedings. But we moved on this brutally cold day and searched some nearby fields. Okay, a little bit of time spent driving around the Bennett Road general area, and also a quick visit to Bragg Farm. No snow buntings, but we just got pretty decent looks, probably our best looks, at Horned Lark. Spent a little bit of time watching those, so I'll leave you with that, and you can join us again tomorrow, because that's our birding for the day. But check out these Horned Larks. Tomorrow we have a bunch more stops. Stay tuned, back in a bit. Out in this snowy field, a small group of Horned Larks scurry across the crop stubble, blending in well with their surroundings. Here's a clearer look without the heat haze coming off my car in these freezing conditions. You can see its soft yellow face with stark black markings and those tiny black horns which give the species its name. Despite the -15 temperatures, these are tough little birds, scraping through the snow for seeds and whatever else they can find to eat. These birds will often flock with other species, such as snow buntings and Lapland longspur, both of which we need, but on this occasion, we're happy enough with excellent views of Horned Larks. We'll be back with tomorrow's footage next. Good morning everyone, it is the 2nd of February, Sunday, and thank goodness it's quite a bit warmer today. Where are we, Sarah?
We are at Windermere Basin.
I think today we're going to be spending a fair bit of time in the Hamilton area, although there may be other visits too. Starting, as Sarah said, at Windermere Basin. There's a few things out on the channel behind the camera here. It remains unfrozen through the winter because the water is moving, so we're going to pick up a few early things, like we can already see great blue heron, for example. But let's take a look what else is here this morning. Here's those great blue herons. We actually saw 5 of them in total, either flying past or on different parts of the shore. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have spotted another new bird in the previous shot. About 8 double-crested cormorants were bathing in the chilly water, soaking their feathers, before giving their wings a few strong beats to shake off the excess moisture. Unlike ducks, cormorant feathers aren't fully waterproof. While they do have oil glands, their plumage absorbs some water, which helps them to dive more efficiently by reducing their buoyancy. That means drying off takes a little more effort, but for a fish hunting specialist, it's a worthwhile trade-off. We were delighted to see this rough-legged hawk perched in the trails just beside the water channel. By far and away our best, closest views of this winter visitor to Ontario, a raptor that breeds in the Arctic during the summer. Speaking of raptors, this small hawk was perched over the channel, a Cooper's hawk that we lost sight of when it flushed, but we caught up again with it later. We just saw a Cooper's hawk in a tree over here, got some footage of that, and then just a few minutes later we saw it again flying past with some kind of small rodent in its talons. Pretty cool views.
Oh yeah, I could see him around it.
Another excellent raptor sighting as this juvenile bald eagle circled the area. And an adult also made an appearance a little later. The dynamic duo Jason and Spring joined us as we switched our attention to waterfowl. A ton of species at distance down towards the bridge. A new one in here too, but let's get closer looks. Yep, northern shovelers, 2 pairs. The females flanked by iridescent green-headed males with chestnut-coloured flanks. These slightly absurd-looking birds were making their equally absurd tuk-tuk call that you can just about hear in this clip. And Stu's favourite mergansers were in attendance, and we got lovely views of one of the males swimming along the shore of the channel with that beady yellow eye and, of course, the white patch on that preposterously oversized hood or crest. Further down the channel, Jason spotted this green-winged teal swimming parallel to the beaver lodge. Helpfully, it made a second pass to give us a second look. And here's the tenant of that beaver lodge, one of a couple of beavers that we saw today. One swam right below us, giving us good views of its sleeked back fur and those ears pointing back towards us. Beavers have valves in their ear canals which they can close when they dive below the water, but for now it's snack time. Check out those nimble paws and the bark stripping ability of its sharp teeth. One more raptor to show you, as a northern harrier coasted along the shoreline before landing. We decided to walk along the trail to get closer looks at this strangely owl-faced bird. Jason, look out!
They say it's over there.
And after that terrible joke, maybe we should depart. About 15 minutes southeast along the QEW, running counterclockwise around the lake slightly, we arrived at 50 Point Conservation Area. straight to a lookout deck, looking for a particular family of birds. Okay, 50-point conservation area, looking out over Lake Ontario. We'll take anything new here, but primarily we're looking for Scoters. There are 3 Scoters that you will mostly find in this area. The most common amongst them is the white-winged Scoter. Sarah, what are the other 2?
So the other 2 are the surf Scoter and the black Scoter.
Do you want to talk about the differences between them? Starting with the white wing being the most common.
So the white wing has the white teardrop around the eye as well as the white flash on its wing. The males will also have an orangish beak. Then the black Scoter has no white on it, so no white around the eye, no white on the wing, but it has a orangey pinky beak. And then the surf Scoter has the
that one looks like the white wing bird,
but it also has a big white patch on the back of the head as well as a white patch in between the eyes.
So we're seeing lots of white wing Scoters to start with. We think we've also seen a black Scoter too, right, Sarah?
Yep, pretty sure on the black Scoter. Now we're just trying to see if we can pick out a surf.
Yeah, so we're going to carry on trying to pick through these birds. We'll let you know if you find it. Here's that white-winged Scoter again. This one threw us off for a second, but it's another white-winged Scoter, this time an immature male that's doing a good job of hiding that white wing stripe. Here's a black Scoter. Note the all-black Scoter-shaped bird with a bright orange knob on the bill. New bird, and Scoter 2 out of 3. The surf Scoter gave us trouble. It was warmer today, but still cold, hard work picking through hundreds of Canada geese, long-tailed ducks, mergansers, goldeneye, and white-winged Scoters. We kept searching, but annoyingly, all the birds seemed to be drifting further out, and after a few false alarms, we did find ourselves a surf Scoter. The white patch on the back of the head is difficult to make out in this very distant shot, but the bill stands out more closely. New bird, and all 3 Scoters in one afternoon. Not bad. Okay, that last surf Scoter took a little bit of work, but we finally got it. That's all 3 Scoters. High five. Yay! We're doing well for waterfowl. Ruddy duck is still needed, but there's none at this location. Well, we're not used to that level of success. Now we have to find something else to do with the rest of the afternoon. I think we're going to go on a bit of a bunting chase, see if we can get some snow buntings before winter is over. We're going to go for a drive towards MOAR Road. That's where they showed up yesterday. Let's hope they're still flocking in that area. Stay tuned, we'll make that drive now, maybe get a coffee or something on the way. Breaker 19, it's a birding convoy, Jason leading the way, but we're not looking for any rubber ducks in this video. Once again, we drove fields, this time surrounded by the vineyards of the Niagara Escarpment. Nothing here, so let's keep going. A little further down the road, a patch of grass opposite a farmhouse, and bingo, a medium-sized flock of horned larks and, thank goodness, snow buntings. Snow buntings are a new bird for the year and, more importantly, a winter bird that we no longer have to worry about. It was fun to see this mixed flock of birds. The snow bunting managed to perch on whatever crop this is and pick at some of the remains. These birds can sometimes number in the hundreds, if not thousands, and their winter plumage, with white and rusty tones, helps them to camouflage within the snowy crop fields in which they forage. And we watched them forage for a while. Before essentially reaching the end of our day's birding, we were going to try one more stop until a pretty severe change in the weather. Okay, Sarah, where have we come to next?
We've come to the Royal Botanical Gardens Arboretum.
As you can see looking around, and also the state of my coat, it is snowing quite a lot. So we came to this location in the hopes of finding tufted titmice. It's about as far east, northeast, as you can reliably find them outside of their range. You can find them further afield, but this is a reliable location where they show up most days. Having said that, the conditions aren't great. I think myself and Jason may go and see if we can find them. That will be a separate video, bonus birding. In the meantime, that does us for this video. I do have one more sighting to tell you about though. I can't say where exactly it was, but somewhere in Hamilton we did stumble across a saw-whet owl. Let's take a quick look at that. delighted to see this saw-whet owl. Thanks to fellow birder Don, who pointed us in the direction of our first Ontario saw-whet owl. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button. The more people that hit the like button, the more chance there is of new people finding the channel, and the more people that watch this channel, the more bigger and better things we can do with the channel. Leave us a comment. Which birds did you enjoy seeing? What have you guys been up to? What have you seen? Let us know. We like talking to you in the comments. Most of all, Sarah, what should people do?
If you haven't already, please subscribe, and after subscribing, if you select the bell, you'll get a notification when we post a new video.
Stay tuned to the channel, guys. As mentioned, there'll be a bonus birding video with me and Jason in the next few weeks, and the 350 bird challenge continues on this channel. Thanks for watching, happy birding, and bye for now.
Bye.